My name is Jared and welcome to another edition of Lethal Tech Tips here at Lethal Performance Headquarters, Wellington, Florida. I've got my beer, so that means we're going to be doing an installation today. Today we're going to feature our 2018 Mustang GT upper and lower grille deletes. We also offer these for the 2015 to 2017 Mustang, GT, V6, and EcoBoost. Our upper and lower grille deletes are available separate, so you can purchase just the upper or just the lower if you like. They are OEM fit, finish, and installation. This version, we do offer the billet anodized black honeycomb grill to it. These are already pre-installed on the grills before you receive them, so there's no other things you need to do except remove your old grill and install the new one. This installation takes about an hour, so we're going to put this car in a lift so we can get moving on it, and we'll show you how it's done. All right, now that we have the car in a lift, we're going to be able to access this bottom pan. That's the first thing we'll be removing today. I've done this install a couple times, and this is really the best way to do it. So I've got a 7mm socket, and we're going to take all the screws out as well as the push pins and take this bottom pan off. Okay, so now that I've actually removed all of the bolts that hold this belly pan up to the chassis, we're going to go around to the chin spoiler and remove the screws that hold this bottom piece to the chin spoiler. This last push pin we're going to take out, and then we should be able to remove the pan from the other side of the car. There you go. All right, moving on with the installation of our grille delete. We've just removed the plastic shroud from underneath the vehicle. We lowered it down. Next thing, we actually have two things left to do. We're going to be removing the bolts that hold the bumper to the chassis here. There's actually several 8mm bolts, and then we have two 5.5mm bolts located on each end here. So we're going to remove all those, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, we're just about ready to remove the front bumper on our 2018 Mustang. Things have changed slightly from the 15 to 17 model to the 18 model. On the 15 to 17 model, you used to have to come in through the fender liner here, undo a bolt, and then yank on the actual fender to pop it out of its place. On the 18 model, they actually made it a little bit easier. There's no yanking on the fender anymore. There's two bolts as well as a push pin located inside here on each side. Using a 10mm socket, we're going to undo both bolts, push the push pin out of its spot, and then the bumper will actually come out of place without yanking on it. All right, now I'm going to show you exactly how the bracket that holds the bumper on is set up on the 2018 Mustang. It is different from the 15 to 17 model. I've already loosened the two nuts on the studs for the bracket that come up from the bottom. There is also a push pin that comes up from the bottom as well. All we're going to do is push down on that pin and pop it out of place. All right. And this is going to come out. This is the actual bracket that holds the bumper in place. Again, it comes up through the bumper here, tightens up with the two nuts on the studs, and that push pin pretty much holds it in place for when these nuts are off the studs. Okay, and one last thing, just before we remove the bumper, you do want to make sure that the electrical connectors that go to your headlamps, as well as if there are any fog lights up front, they are removed so you can pull the bumper off clean without having any wires attached to it. I'm going to push on the pin and pull the connector off, move to the other side, do the same thing. And now we're ready to get the bumper off. All right. Now, with a helping hand, I've got special guest Joe Dirt in the house. He's going to help me pull the front bumper off. Lift it up. There we go. All right, good job. Thanks, Joe.
You're welcome.
Now that we have the bumper off the vehicle, which was actually the easy part, we're going to move on to the hard part, in my opinion. And these are your friends, flathead screwdrivers. If you can grab a handful of them, that'd be great. Starting with the actual bumper support, we're going to go around and put the flathead screwdrivers into the clips to remove this, and then we'll be able to actually access all of the clips on the grill. Okay, and just like removing that bumper support, we're going to do the same thing with the grill itself by putting the flathead screwdrivers by these clips. Put several of them in a row that allow you to pull several of them out at a time, and it makes life a lot easier. Definitely learned from experience on this one. And when the screwdrivers pop out, it actually is a good thing because it means the clip has come out of its place. I've actually found it easier to, on the bottom portion here, for the pins to use your fingers instead of the screwdrivers. It actually works easier once you've gotten the top off. Okay, now we're going to install the Lethal Performance Grille Delete with the billet black mesh option to it. It's going to install just like the factory piece does. We're going to put it in place, pop it into each and every clip and make sure it's secure, and then we're done. Make sure that these clips are lined up. Push them on here. You might need to give the bumper a little smack there to make sure that you hear the clip pop into place. And once you hear it pop into place, we know that it's secure. You can actually check to make sure that it's fully in place, that everything should be flush. The grill and the bumper should be flush together. So anywhere where you see it's not flush, the clip most likely has not popped into place fully, like right here. There we go. That. Okay. And the other upper grill is installed. All right, we've got the upper on. Now we're going to install the lower Grille Delete with the mesh option. Same thing. Make sure that all the clips pop into place. You give the bumper a little smack. Make sure that they're locked in, and you're good to go. They're all in, and a break and a sweat, but it's well worth it. Let's see how it looks once it's on the car. We're going to finish up with the bumper support and then do the same exact thing we did to remove the bumper and put it back on. All right, we're ready to reinstall our grill on our Mustang here. I got my man Joe Dirt. We're gonna lift it up, put it in place, and then button it up. There we go. The studs up here will actually hold the bumper. All right, we're good. Once you've hung the bumper, we're gonna use the clips right here, bracket, slide it on the inside of the bumper here so that the studs come through as well as that plastic push pin. Again, that's what helps hold the bumper in place. Pop it up in there. We're good. We're gonna do the same thing to the other side, then put the nuts on the studs here and secure the bumper. All right, and that concludes the installation of the 2018 Mustang GT Grille Delete from Lethal Performance. As you can see, the mesh option looks awesome on this vehicle, really badass. Installation time, I'm going to say, takes about 1 to 2 hours. It's really not that complicated. Just follow exactly what we did in this video. If you guys have any questions, you can reach us at 561-753-8105. Thank you.